Can you hear us, everybody? Can you hear us, please? You still can't hear us. I don't know why you can't hear us. Can someone let me know if you can hear us now? The mic is in. The volume's up. You can hear us. Good. Okay, we can hear us. Let's start that again, Graham.
I missed all our best bits.
That was we. Thank you very much for joining. Thanks for being a guest, Graham. We will see you later.
Pleasure.
No. Sorry about that. I do not know what happened. I'll blame Graham for that one. This never happens when Graham's not on it. Yeah, sorry about the dog. Nothing I can do about that. He lives here. It's his house. Graham, first of all, talk to me. Where are we at? Tottenham Hotspur, 6 signings, 11 days to go until the season begins. Happy? Have we done enough? What's your feelings?
Happy with some of the signings, without a doubt. I think there have been 1 or 2 improvements there. I'd like to think that before the window closes, we will sign 2 or 3 others because I think it's necessary.
Yeah.
Well, I know we're going to talk about squad depth, etc., but we do need some more players, without a shadow, and not average ones either. We want ones that are going to go close, if not straight into the first team.
Mm-hmm. So why then? Look, most clubs would say, and most fans do tell me all the time, Graham, 6 signings, Savva, you ungrateful, negative git. I've been called worse as well, Graham, as you know. With that in mind, why do we need more then if we've made 6 signings?
Well, I just feel we haven't addressed certain positions. Assuming Spence is going to be the right wing back, we don't know. I don't think there'll be any more right wing backs coming in. I would like to see another centre back come in. I'd like to see another ball, someone who can play a little bit in the midfield.
Yeah.
And I'd like to see perhaps another young striker, a young up and coming striker come in.
Yeah.
But we know how Levy works. We've made a lot of signings early on, which is very, very unusual. I think it was the threat of Conte running away, I think, that sort of made them go in there. I think you need to have your signings done by the first game in some ways.
Yeah.
Because you want to start the season with the 11 that you're going to play. You don't want to be sort of bringing in 3 or 4. Right, this last minute stuff, I don't think over the years has worked particularly well. Because you end up rushing to get somebody in before the end. The player often isn't good enough, and you're stuck with them for years on end.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is the thing. I mean, I think you were here actually earlier when I recorded my premiere for 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
And I was trying to get the difference to people from squad depth and replacing players. Now, I'll go through it again, Graham. The thing that I basically said was, I keep hearing that, since we signed 6 new players, so we've got 6 more bodies in depth. But when you look at it, G, that's not strictly true, is it? Because Galini's gone, Foster's come in, right? Royal or Doherty, one of them will go, Spencer's come in. Reggie will go, Perisic has come in. Tanganga's going, Longlay's come in. Basuma's come in, and one of, if not 2 of, Winks, Lo Celso and Ndombele will go. And then Bergwijn's gone and Richarlison's come in. So what I can't seem to make people understand, Graham, is the difference between bringing in 6 bodies but actually still not having depth. Is that a concern for you?
It is a concern with this 5 sub rule as well, which is going to suit the clubs with massive squads of quality. Last year's bench was pretty weak when you think about it. It was not a lot there. Conte must have turned around a couple of times and looked and just turned straight back round again because there wasn't the players there that were going to come on and make a difference. We could all make substitutions, but you don't want people that's going to weaken the team, and this is what's going to happen.
Yeah.
I do feel we need more bodies and more good players on board because you want good players on the bench, don't you?
Yeah.
You want to make 5 good. If you're going to make 5, you want 5 good players, not academy players.
Yeah.
So we still need to top up, because we'll let a lot go. I expect a lot will go before the window closes. We don't want to be left again short on depth and also short on the bench.
I mean, guys, this is the show. We'll talk about the subjects you want. So put what you want us to talk about or any questions in the chat. The first couple of people, Graham, have talked about, and that was Simon Cohen and Coach Silva have both talked about Maddison and Zaniolo. Now, Graham, you know me, I don't believe a lot of in the nose and all that kind of stuff, but these two names don't appear to be going away. Should Spurs be going for one of those two? What do they bring? And if we were a big club, wouldn't we be going for both? I'm just chucking some questions out there.
Yeah, I mean, Maddison's a no-brainer, absolute no-brainer. A goal-scoring midfield player who can create. I mean, not many of those, are there?
No.
Leicester may want to get rid of one or two. They haven't brought many players in. They may want to create money. I'd be annoyed if he went to one of the teams around us because I rate him very highly. Zaniolo, I've watched a few times for Roma. Being greedy, I'd like both of them because you put those two in now, then the squad starts looking very interesting, doesn't it? But Maddison, 14 goals a season, and also he's free kick man. And we haven't got anybody really who's good with free kicks. So he would improve that. Set pieces are such a vital part of football. Corners, set pieces, free kicks on the edge of the box.
Yeah.
If you're going to just balloon it into the crowd or hit the wall every time, you're throwing away great opportunities, I think.
Yeah.
So tick with those two, definitely.
So why then the fans can see it? You can see it, I can see it, most fans can see it, that we haven't strengthened well enough in sorry, 1 second before the missus kills you for doing that. Everyone can see we need some creativity. We need a right wing back of class and we need another centre back. Why weren't they the first three things on our list this window?
Well, that is the baffling bit, isn't it? That is the baffling bit. If you're going to play wing backs, they've got to be effective. It's no good just having them out there to open the pitch up. They've got to be able to do other things as well. I mean, opening the pitch up is an important aspect. If you've got two people wide, it does, open the middle up. But you've also got to have people who their end product has got to be good. It's no good running down the wing and hitting the fullback up the backside all the time or putting it 10, 15 yards over the back of the goal, is it? You've got to have quality in that. Otherwise, why play it? Why do it?
Yeah.
Even in youth football, Pete used to say to me about playing wing backs, never did it because you're asking a lot, especially of young players, to get up and back all the time.
Yeah.
The ones we've got are not good enough, are they?
I mean, other than Perisic, right?
Yeah. Oh, now, yes. I mean, I think Doherty can do. I think I'd like him to stay. The other bloke's clueless, I think. But I'd like Doherty to stay and with Spence and fight for the shirt.
Mm-hmm.
But we're not going to sign another wing back. Oh, another right wing back now. I mean, he's not going to bring another one in.
Yeah.
We'd certainly need another centre half, I think, and we need another midfield player. Now, as you say, why didn't they do that to start with? I thought that would have been an obvious thing to do. It's been a bit like supermarket sweep to start with, isn't it? Really, just gone out and bought, sort of.
I mean, from my point of view, G, it seems that look. Some of us, there's been many in the chat in the same boat, have supported Spurs long enough to know now that I don't get carried away. Now, when people tell me, "Oh, be more positive," why don't you get carried away? Well, simply because I've seen this story, how it pans out year after year after year. Again, I'm looking at Spurs about to go into a season with Champions League football, League Cup, FA Cup, and the Premier League, plus a World Cup in the middle of it, Graham, from the end of November to the end of December. I'm looking at it now and I'm going, right, who are we bringing on? Who are we bringing on off the bench that's really going to come on and make a difference? Now, last season, that was what we all said about Conte. Do you remember? People said he can't change it up because there's no one coming off the bench to change it up with. Okay, but now I look and go, all right, well, who's coming off the bench now, Graham? I can only think Richarlison. Lucas doesn't really affect a lot.
No.
Can you think of another single attack-minded player on the bench?
No, this is the problem. This is going to be the problem.
Right.
So you're never going to have people on the bench who are as good as Son and Kane.
Of course.
That's almost impossible. But you don't want people who are so poor that when they come off, the standard drops enormously. The ball keeps bouncing back off them. It puts the other team in attack. Last 15, 20 minutes, you don't want to be pummeled, do you, by the opposition? So yeah, I think we certainly need a better bench than last year. Last year's was very weak, very poor.
Yeah.
You've got to have options, and as I said before, the 5 sub rule has got to be used. If you watch how well Klopp and Pep used the 5 sub rule.
Yeah.
No wonder they wanted it. They got so many great players on the bench.
And this is the difference for me, is I look at the moment and go, okay, so imagine hypotheticals. Spurs are losing 1-0. It doesn't matter where, home, away, it doesn't matter the game. He turns to his bench and he goes, right, how can I mix this up? You know, Kane and Son aren't firing today. Kulusevski's not firing. Let's turn to the bench. What you do? Sessegnon? Richarlison? Yes.
Yeah.
Richarlison, yes. Sessegnon, no. Royal?
Definitely no.
Skip and Højbjerg are not that type of player.
No.
This is the thing. And when I bring this up, I'm told I'm negative, Graham, but I just can't see. Now look at Liverpool.
Yeah.
Now, if you look at Liverpool's forwards, right? Okay, you might say they've got the same amount as us, but they've got one more. Liverpool have got Firmino, Jota, Núñez, Salah, and Diaz.
Yeah.
Then in behind that, you've got Fabio Carvalho, who's now joined there, that can play attacking midfield.
Good player.
Right? You've got Thiago Alcantara, who can run and control games. You've got workhorses like Fabinho and Henderson. You've then got players like Harvey Elliott, who's very, very tricky and can go forward. Yeah? You've got Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. You've got Curtis Jones. You've got Naby Keita. Then I look at, we've got 4 forwards and 4 centre mids. And none of those centre mids, Graham, attack. I can't see where the goals are coming from outside of the top 3.
There aren't any. I mean, Klopp's got it right, hasn't they? They've turned that club around in a fairly short space of time, really, haven't they? He makes a great difference, obviously, but they've got it covered in all positions. I know people will slate their forwards and say they're not any good and all this stuff. Well, let's see when the season starts, when they're rattling them in. I mean, what a great signing Jota was for them.
Yeah.
What a player. Imagine him on our bench. So you could take Kane and Son off. If you put Jota on, likely to get you a goal.
Yeah.
Whereas when we put Bergwijn on, who was it the other day said Bergwijn was better than somebody?
Lee McQueen said Bergwijn was better than Memphis Depay. Yeah.
Well, I've watched both, and I can tell you he's not. I'm not saying Memphis is great, but Memphis, Bergwijn wouldn't get in Barcelona's team. Memphis did.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is the key thing for me. I think it's about having options.
Yeah.
And again, listen, I'm not for 1 second suggesting that we should be able to go and challenge City and Liverpool this year. But what I am saying, with tough Champions League games in the midweek, with a World Cup in between, imagine 1 injury to Kane and 1 to Romero. All of a sudden, we are very, very lightweight. Now, people will go, but we made 6 signings. But it's not enough. For me, it's really, really not enough. Just quickly, Coach Silva, hope you're feeling better, has said centre-back was Bastoni, but he turned us down. Bremer has chosen to stay in Italy. Others proving difficult to sign. Even Chelsea are struggling. Market is off this year. Graham, sorry, Coach Silva, love you, dude, but for me, this is a massive excuse. Just because Bastoni didn't join and Bremer didn't join, Graham, how many centre-backs are out there?
Hundreds.
That are better than what we've got.
The trouble is, again, we come back to they want it on the cheap, don't they? So this is the thing. They want, if they get someone for 20 million or 25 million, but you've got to push the boat out. I thought that's what was going to happen. Is that the idea? All this nonsense about we've got 150 million and all this sort of thing, and he won't be 150 up by the end of the season or down by the end of the season, end of the window, will he?
So would it be fair then to say, Graham, that statement seems to have pulled the wool over a lot of people's eyes?
I think that's exactly what it's done. He's trying to keep everybody happy, isn't it? And then signing players early is obviously for Conte's benefit and also keep people happy. And a lot of people are very happy. I mean, I had an argument with somebody at a cricket match, believe it or not, on Friday, he's a great supporter of Daniel Levy. He thinks he's wonderful. He's only made 1 mistake in the 22 years he's been there as part of getting rid of Jose. And he got quite nasty, not nasty, but he was getting a bit narc with me, called me negative and everything else. And, we made all these signings, and we've got to be realistic, I think, more than anything else. a good season this year would be third or fourth and be in and amongst the trophies. I mean, the other thing he did say, which I didn't agree with him, is it's not all about winning trophies. Well, I don't know what we're running out on the pitch for. That's an easy excuse, isn't it?
Each to their own opinion, Graham. Yeah. But for me, if you support a top club, that's got to be the aim, right? Yeah. I get it. If for example, you go down to Dartford a lot.
Yeah.
When you support teams at those lower levels, it's not about that. But when you are supporting teams that charge you £130 for a shirt, £130 for a shirt, nearly £100 a ticket a game, I'm sorry, you've got to be winning. You've got to give something back to the fans. Foggy Foam has said, Savva, can someone clarify with Skip having a lot of injuries? Could we see Conte demand another centre mid, as we can't afford to have 3 first-team centre mids available, 5 subs midweek games? So obviously we're talking about, Graham, we're talking Skip, Højbjerg, Benson, Basuma.
Yeah.
He's saying if Skip is injured, you've got 3. You've got Papa Sarr as well. But again, if I had Papa Sarr to make that 4, is that enough, Graham, for all those competitions?
No, it's nowhere near enough. It's going to be a heck of a lot of football this year. Skip's a disappointment, really. I mean, last year he was injured a lot, and now he's injured already. He's going to be a decent sort of cover player, I think. I know a lot of people don't like him, and he gets a lot of stick, but he's certainly one for the bench. But we haven't. I mean, it makes you wonder whether he's going to be one of those players that's always picking up injuries.
Right.
Perhaps his tackling is not right. Perhaps he gets things like, I don't know, and gets caught a lot.
Can I ask you? Just while we're talking about that, I see a lot of hype about Oliver Skip. I think he's steady, but for me, he's not who I want in a top 4 squad. I mean, what do you? Well, people will tell me I'm harsh, but
if you put him in Southampton's side or somebody else in the bottom half, Leicester's even, he'd probably do a good job because he'd play every week for starters.
Yeah,
he's not going to play every week at Spurs. Yeah, I mean, for how many other teams in the top 4 or 5 or even 6 would sign Skip? They wouldn't, would they? If he was out available.
That's the thing.
For the bench, yes, you could say Bentancur got injured with the 15 minutes to go, you could put him on for that.
Yeah,
he's not disastrous.
No, of course he's not. Listen, and look, I get it. He's still a young player.
He hasn't played enough.
I feel like a lot of fans do what we normally do with young players that play for Spurs, and we get them from here. We elevate them to there before they've actually done anything in between.
It takes a long while, doesn't it? It takes a long while to settle in. People they watch 2 games and they say he's no good.
Yeah,
he's not good enough. Also, I'm a great thing with playing consistently and playing week in, week out. It's very tough to come off the bench with 15, 20 minutes to go because the pace of the game is already set. You've got to come on, you've got to get to the pace of the game. And then the next game, you'll sub again. You need a clear run of games. He's proved it with a lot of players.
Yeah.
Is he going to get a clear run of games? Probably not.
Right. I wouldn't think so. I think he's the 4th choice central midfielder.
But he'd be ideal on the bench.
Okay, so just before we move on, there are 90 of you in the chat and only 27 likes. Please could everybody go and press like. As always, if you do want to put in a super chat, 50% does go to the British Heart Foundation, which is a cause very close to my own heart. Couple of questions, Graham. We'll answer these quickly. Kev Williams has said, question for you. Do you think Longley will come good? I really think he will with the Conte effect. Spence, I think, will be a great signing.
Yeah, I mean, Longley I've seen a lot. Good defender. Reads the game well. As I've probably said on here before, I would have played him last year, but Xavi obviously had different plans.
Yeah.
He played Garcia instead of him, who I don't rate him at all. I don't know what he sees in him.
I don't rate him.
Longley's cultured player, steady player. And I don't want to hear all this, can he handle the Premiership? I mean, it's, come on.
Yeah, the whole league's foreign.
He's not a problem. He's not a problem for me. Spence, I saw Spence play a game, I think it must have been for Middlesbrough, and he was magnificent. I thought, crikey, this bloke's good. But watching him for Forest last year, a few games he didn't do a lot. Again, give him time. What he is, and I watched little highlights of him at Forest, he's very quick across the ground.
Yeah.
Very much, and also defensively, not much goes by him. He's quite a strong lad as well. He's a big lad. But Are we judging him totally on what his delivery is going to be into the box?
But again, Graham, this goes back to what we said earlier. In the Conte system,
Yeah,
that's fundamental. If you're not going to buy a playmaker, it's fundamental that Perisic and Spence. Now, this is one of the things that I think either Bob's Coover says it on my shows. Big up Coover if you're out there. Coover says a lot is you've bought Perisic on the left. That's the benchmark now as to what level of ability you want as a wing back.
Yeah.
For me, it's a complete mismatch. I'm not saying I don't like Spence, Graham. And I think a lot of people got it wrong what I said. I don't think it was ambitious. I felt it was a typical Spurs, let's hope he becomes really good, rather than this is who Conte really, really wants, let's go and get them. But if you've got Perisic this side, Spence this side, it's a mismatch to me in terms of ability. Aditya has said, Graham, will you be happy with Zaniolo? Do you believe Conte is desperate for him as per reports?
Very good player. I'm surprised. Obviously, Mourinho doesn't want him, but I think he will be a very good signing for Spurs, without a shadow of a doubt. Got a lot of energy and
tricky player.
Good player.
Yeah.
You want people who are tricky in the final third. We haven't really got that, have we? People who can get into that final third. Bazuma, I don't know. I mean, you see highlights from Brighton. He does attack the box. A Brighton fan said to me last week, "You don't know when he turns up each week. You don't know. Perhaps he's a bit erratic, but I don't think anybody's going to be erratic with Conte bellowing that on the sideline."
Absolutely, guys. 100 of you in the chat, only 40 likes. Come on, where is the love? Where's the love for me and Graham?
We're trying hard.
We're trying our best.
We're trying our best.
Luan, hello, Luan. Much love to you as always. Said, I think we should try. I think you should try and hijack the Kostic deal from West Ham. Yeah. Put him at left wing back, Perisic at right wing back. That would be class wing backs for you guys. Now, Graham, I was speaking to someone in my YouTube chat just now, and they said to me, I don't think that Kostic will be very ambitious. Now, just a few facts for you, Graham. I'm not saying you didn't know this, but in the last 4 seasons, Kostic has got 57 assists in league and European football.
Wow.
57. Now, and we've got fans going, I don't think he'd be very ambitious. But yet those fans will go, Jed Spence, good player, great. Right. Now, for me, imagine Kostic at left wing back, as Luan said, Perisic at right wing back. All of a sudden, the dynamic changes, doesn't it, Jim?
Yeah, absolutely. It gives you an options again, doesn't it? I mean, obviously, we play through the middle a lot for Son and Kane to get on the end of. It just gives you another option. If they block that out, then where do we go next? Yeah. If you're giving it to Royal on the right, it's not going to go very far, don't you?
Yeah.
Every position needs an upgrade. I think you've got to keep looking to upgrade people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Positions.
Let's rattle through some of these. We're lagging behind. This is the problem because I go to so many comments. I'm always behind. Scott M, big up to you out there in Canada. I think Scott M and I agree on everything other than Poch, but we're not going there. He has said, Richarlison, the only player on the bench that adds anything, changes anything. Yeah. Skip and Højbjerg offer exactly the same as Bentancur Basuma. They are just worse at everything than they are. Again, I mean, we won't go into this in detail, but it's what we said, right? It's if you're bringing players on, what do they offer? And I look at Sarr, Højbjerg, Højbjerg, Skip, Royal, Sessegnon, Lucas, Doherty, Davis, Rodon, Sanchez, and Richarlison. That's
a lot of mediocrity there, isn't
right?
There? A lot of mediocrity.
But yet, fans. Last night, I was watching Tottenham away, and big up to all the boys on Tottenham away, and so many people in the panel were going, "Oh, I've got us down as 89 points. I've got us down as 92 points."
Really?
I just don't know what they're seeing, Graham. I get it, glass half full and all that.
Look. Trouble is, if you disagree with that, then you're called negative.
Yeah.
I think realistic has got to be the thing. Are Man City and Liverpool going to drop enough? They're going to need to drop as well. I mean, I can't see us get well. You just don't. I mean, you don't know. It could happen, but my worry is, as we said before, if Kane or Son got injured, where are the goals going to come from?
Yeah. Just quickly, Paul has said, hello, Paul, to Savva and Graham, do you think Conte is dead set on 3-4-3 in each and every game and therefore has no desire to bring in the type of player that you would want? Now, just before you answer that, Graham, I think the difficulty is, Paul, the players that I want, that Graham wants, that most fan wants, fit in to the 3-4-3. We're talking about a quality wing back on the right. Yeah. We're talking about a quality centre back. We're talking about a quality midfielder that Conte has been known to go 2 up front and 1 in behind. So what do you think, Graham? I don't think that who we want doesn't work in a 3-4-3.
See, if you play another midfield player in there, obviously you're going to have to leave one of the front players out. And, I don't think he'll do that. I think he likes Kulusevski and obviously Richarlison coming in. If I used to play 2 centre mids, you made sure that when one pushed forward, the other one tucked in behind them.
Yeah.
But I don't think you'll see 3 midfield players playing very often.
And Graham, we've come to our first silly comment of the show. Billy Horrocks has said, Naby Keita is bang average, Henderson is bang average, Elliott unproven, and Jones unproven. Now, Naby Keita, Graham, and Henderson were part of the main 4 midfielders last year for Liverpool who nearly won a quadruple, but they're bang average. Yeah. How do we belittle every other club?
I'm baffled, really, why everybody's having a go at Liverpool all of a sudden. They've got no players. They're not good. They're not as good as ours. The facts don't back that up, do they? No, I'm not talking about stats. I'm talking about facts. Don't back that up. I mean, Henderson does the job. Anchors in midfield. He's strong. Yeah. Does the job. And Keita as well. I think they're beyond criticism, Liverpool. For me, the whole club is beyond criticism.
They've lost Mane and replaced him with Núñez, and yet now all of a sudden, Liverpool have dropped off. There's obviously a cat in the garden. Yeah. Big up to you, Stel. Great to see you back streaming again last night. Hope you are well after your break. Stel, again, I agree with most of the things Stel says. I agree with, and it said Conte had Pirlo and Pogba at Juve. He had Fabregas and Hazard at Chelsea. He had Barella and Eriksen at Inter. Yet all our Spurs fans now are experts, and it's all about the wing backs. Agreed, Stel. He has always had a creative force somewhere in a team. This is going to be the first club where he hasn't. Good point, Stel. Thank you. Simon has said there are top players out there for sure. Yeah. Luan said, Stel, great to see you back. Sorry if I miss anyone's comments. I'm just going to try. Jordan has said, easy lads. Jordan Ianson, the man, the myth, the legend, the sexy little thing that is Jordan Ianson. Brian Murphy said, I agree with you on Skip. Look, again, I'll just put it out. I don't dislike Skip. I just think he's another one that our fans are really overhyping. It's like, for example, somebody's just said there, Harvey Elliott and Curtis Jones are unproven. But they're the same fans that will tell you Oliver Skip is the next best thing. There's no consistency. Skip is no Phil Foden. Yeah, different players, but Phil Foden is...
Nobody's Phil Foden.
Phil Foden, for me, is the best of the lot for the young English players.
Yeah, absolutely.
Disgustingly talented, that boy. Grant Davidson has said, people seem to accept it because we have progressed under Levy, but let's be honest, the majority of the top 10 have progressed. However, we're like a yo-yo because of Levy Enoch, constant mistakes. Amen.
Can't argue with that.
Jeffrey has said, I have a question. What would you consider as an excellent window? I'm curious. Graham, do you want to go?
I think you've got to look at the window both ways as well. We're talking about what we're bringing in, but we need to get... I think at the moment, we're in a situation at the moment where we've got to get a few people out to get enough money to bring people in, it seems.
Yeah.
There's a bit of a lull at the moment. We're very... I mean, I read somewhere that Lo Celso, everybody's after him at the moment. Let's hope so, because we need the money from him. In Ndombele, God knows what's happening with him. I mean, they're going to have to take him down the charity shop the way we're going. We've got to get rid of it. A good window is when you get rid of the ones you want to and bring in the ones you want to as well. It's not a bad window so far. You can't say it's a bad window, but when you take one step back and look at each player individually, how many of the 6 we bought will get in the first 11? Be interested to see. But ask me at the end. Good window has to be in and out.
Yeah, agreed. First of all, Henry Wright, big up to Savva Graham with a small donation. Thank you very much, Henry. Much love to you as always, my friend. Pete has come in with his new channel. Go and follow Pete's new channel. Just click on his logo and subscribe. Him and one of his Arsenal mates have got a new show called North London Is, and each week they will be debating how Arsenal Spurs have got on that week, the rivalry. They'll look forward to North London derbies, yada, yada, yada. He has said, are we better equipped to play this system? Nope. I would say we're better equipped with Perisic. Other than that, I still don't think we've done enough for this system to work.
See, from my point of view, if you haven't got the players who are effective at wing backs, I wouldn't play wing backs. But obviously, we're dealing with somebody here at the top level who that's the system he plays. That's the. I mean, I would never play.
This is Brian. Hello, Brian. Hope you're well. Brian was the guy I was having a chat with in my YouTube talking about Kostic not being seen as ambition. He said he's only got 4 assists in the Europa League over the last 4 years and has never played Champions League. But Brian, at the end of the day, Richarlison's never played Champions League. Spencer's never played Champions League. Fraser Forster's never played Champions League. This guy's got 57 assists from left wing back. And Spurs fans being Spurs fans, we belittle that. It's unbelievable how our fans belittle so many of these players that have set Europe alight. Kevin McBain said, should we go after De Jong? Barca seem hell-bent on putting him out the door. Basuma, De Jong is a top-class midfield. From what I've seen, it seems to be the opposite. From what I've seen, Barca don't want to sell him, right?
Well, the thing is with Barca at the moment, until they bring enough money in, they can't register the players they've signed. So that's the problem they're in at the moment. That's why they want to shift a few out the door. I think there's about 7 he wants to get rid of, Xavi, because if they don't bring the money in, at the moment there's a stalemate. They've signed the players, but at the moment the Lewandowskis, etc., cannot be registered because of the rules. So that's a bit of a problem. So De Jong's a funny one. I mean, who would want to leave Barcelona anyway? I mean, I know they haven't done well the last few years, but they've got a hell of a good side now. You look at the players they've got, look at the forwards they've got. They'll be very, very good this year.
Just quickly, Jeffrey Miller. I listen again. Another one belittling Liverpool. I don't understand when people talk to me about squad depth. Liverpool have got. Let's go through it. Liverpool have got Alisson in goal, and then that Kelleher in the background, who was very, very good in them winning the cups. They've got Trent Alexander-Arnold, probably one of the best right backs in the country. And then behind that, they've got Gomez that can play there, plus the young lad they just bought from Aberdeen. Right? They've got 4 centre-halves in Van Dijk, Matip, Konate, and Gomez can play there as well. And then at left back, they've got Robertson, and if they need to, Tsimikas, and if they need to, James Milner. In the midfield, they've got 9 centre mids. 9. They have got, let me see if I can go off the top of my head, Fabinho, Henderson, Thiago, Keita, Milner, Oxlade-Chamberlain, Curtis Jones, and Harvey Elliott. Then going forward, they got Fabio Carvalho, Firmino, Jota, Nunes, Diaz, and Salah. Yet people telling me that we've got the depth right. So, Jeffrey, sorry, keep it real, mate. I know you want to be Spurs, and it's nice to be. It's cool to be seen as a real positive fan. But our squad depth compared to City and Liverpool's
there is
non-existent.
a reason why they're at the top and one of the major chances of winning the Champions League at the moment. They're one of the favourites to win it.
Yeah,
there has to be a I mean, I can't believe how many people are trying to knock Liverpool. I don't know why that is.
Yeah.
They're going to be a very, very hard side to dislodge. I can tell you that now.
Jeffrey comes back again. Jeffrey, first of all, can I ask how old you are? Because first of all, this isn't pessimism. You have to understand that when people break down facts for you, that's factual. There's not pessimism. No one said that we've made bad signings. So he said, all I'm saying is we don't need pessimism right now. We must admit that the club has taken a turn for the better. They have acquired 8 players in the last 7 months, but we're still moaning about them. No. If you actually listen to what I said we've had a decent window. Yeah. But we're now in the Champions League. We keep getting told, Champions League, world-class manager, stadium, this, that, the other. We're going to go. We're not. Sorry, I get Jeffrey Miller.
Yeah, I'm baffled a bit by that.
I am.
I think we'll leave Liverpool alone, not worry about them, because crikey, what more they got to do? He's transformed it. Absolutely amazing.
Brian has said that Fabrizio Romano today has said that Villarreal are about to make a 20 million offer for Lo Celso.
Yeah.
get out. What an awful player he was for Tottenham Hotspur.
Somebody has scouted him. That's the worry for me with Spurs. Somebody scouts these people. You could name 25 to 30 over the last few years easily, and you'd say, why? Why were they signed? On the cheap, or just... Okay. I'd hate to think that people who scout at that level don't know a player. They should know every player, and they should know, how good they are and whatever. But we bought some rubbish, haven't we, over the years, really? We've cluttered the squad up with mediocrity.
Yeah.
And now we're having to sweep up from that.
Yeah, I mean, again, so for Richard Romano saying we need to sell Ndombele, Lo Celso, Winks and Reguilon, then bring in another 2 free. Graham, how can a club as rich as Tottenham Hotspur have to rely, when so far I think our net is about 45 million spent, how can we have to sell players to bring them in when Nottingham Forest have already spent, I think I saw this morning, 125 million?
See, the owners right on it are these other clubs. Like the owners, boom, they back straight away.
Yeah.
Our bloke is never there, is he? I mean, he's distant. He's like a figurehead in the distance. They don't want to spend that much money on the football, do they? On the football side of it. Well, clearly, you've got to spend big money to get up there amongst them. You've got to. It's no good getting 25 million players. There are some bargains, but he's not there, is he? I mean, they're quite happy to tick along, I think, getting in the Champions League. As soon as the team drops off a bit, the manager goes out and Levy carries on. I mean, Forest, obviously, the owner is right there. He's on top of it all the time, backing it. Good luck.
I mean, fair play to them.
Yeah,
all I'm saying is, for a club with our stadium and all the revenue generated from the boxing and NFL and concerts, Champions League football, players going out, I don't want to see a club like Nottingham Forest spending more than us.
But Levy said all the money that comes in will go into the team. Now, it's some of the things he says, like money doesn't buy success. Hang on a minute. It just comes out with nonsense, really, the bloke. He's not good with football side of it. He might be very, very good at other things in the club, but the record of him in 22 years, 1 trophy is really appalling, isn't it?
Yeah, it is indeed. Kuva99 in the chat, big up, one of my favourite people in the YouTube Spurs family, and he has said, have we signed Demau yet? No, we've been in negotiations for the last 15 seasons with Leandro Demau, and apparently Levy will get there by 2028. So we'll see him when he's 49 years of age playing the Spurs.
When you hear that Levy's doing all the negotiations, I get a shiver go down my spine.
I do.
I think, what am I doing for the next month?
Brian has said Liverpool's depth is unreal. Their starting 11 is the same 11 every Premier Champions League game, but they have quality to come in when on top in games, hence why they can play the same starting 11. Yeah, they don't play the same starting 11 every game, Brian, just so you know. Because if you look last season at how many of their front 4, 5 or 6, not many of them played over 34 games. So they mix it about a bit. Keita would be in one game, then Milner, then Henson. But I get your drift. We don't have that luxury.
I just think they're beyond criticism. I can't see why anybody's trying to pull them down. This player's not good enough, and that one, they've done it. They've been there, seen it, and done it.
Ken Charlton has been trying to tell me for the last few days that Spurs have agreed 13 million for Fabian Schär of Newcastle. Ken, imagine if that was true. God, it would be worrying, wouldn't it? It wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me with Daniel Levy and Paratici. That's a Levy signing right there.
Absolutely.
Stel is back in the chat and said the problem is having an opinion is negative if it's not the same opinion as other people.
Yeah.
Too many Spurs care more about what other people think of them than the guts to speak their true opinion. Stel, brother, you know this is the truth. You know the problem is that if you give people harsh facts, they don't like it. So when I turn around and say, where's our depth? And then I even went through our depth just now, people will go, oh, you're negative. But I've asked for the last 5, 6, 7 shows, somebody tell me where our depth is for scoring goals, for attacking, for playmaking.
I think any football supporter has got to be realistic about their club. It's no good being completely blind that every player we bring in is great and everybody else's players are not good enough. I actually could call it cynical, but whatever team I follow, a couple of teams, and you're always saying, why has he done that? You're always a bit, everything's marvellous in the garden. It's a bit boring almost, really.
Yeah, but I mean, the thing is, Graham,
realism.
To go on from Stell's point, the thing is, people like myself and Stell have been saying for years about Levy's behaviour and the club's behaviour and our transfer windows. And when we get to the end of the season, we're not often wrong in terms of, last year. I remember the year under Jose Mourinho when those 7 players came in the window. I remember we did a show when the window shut, Graham, and I said, I don't think 5 or 6 of those were Jose's signings.
No.
And I remember loads of fans going to me, you're negative, they're really good. Jose handpicked them. And it was players like Doherty. It was players like Roden, Gedson, Vinicius, Bergwijn. Managers like Conte and Jose do not go after those players.
Surely all these podcasts invite sort of, opinions.
Yeah.
If everybody came on here and said, Spurs are wonderful, we're going to win the league this year and the Champions League, you might as well shut the thing down, mightn't it? But people are going to have opinions, but you have to be, when people say someone says Spurs are better than Man City, you'd have to say, well, hang on a minute. No, we know they're not. That's not an opinion. That's nonsense. Mm-hmm. Some borderline on nonsense, don't they, really?
Listen, do you know what? I think when I was a bit younger, maybe not actually, I think I've always been this way, Graham, but lots of my friends when they were younger were certainly like they would fight the death for their club in an argument. But as they got a bit older, they realised what was actually true. Too many fans just go, right, I'm a Spurs fan. Here's my Spurs hat. Every other signing is crap. Every other club is poor. Our signings are the best. We're going to win the league. Now, the case in point in that, Graham, is this. Liverpool have lost Sadio Mane and no one else. Unless anyone can tell me. I can't think of anyone who's left Liverpool this window other than Sadio Mane. They've bought in a striker for 86 million. But let's be fair. To cover what Sadio Mane did last year, just needs 16 Premier League goals. Even if he doesn't get all 16, he can share that amongst him, Carvalho and Diaz. Right? They've lost one player. We've added a few players, but all of a sudden, Liverpool are down here and Spurs have overtaken them.
I don't understand it. I can't. It's illogical.
It is. Now, if I turn around and said now, West Ham have overtaken Tottenham, people would go, why? But that's what we're doing with Liverpool. That's what we're doing. We're going, we're better than Liverpool now.
I think we should worry about ourselves before we worry about Man City and Liverpool.
I agree.
And we ought to look at those two clubs and think, now, how can we be like that? How can we be, as you said before, Liverpool, we used to finish above them year after year after year. So what have they done that we haven't? Why are we not where they are now?
Jack Taylor, welcome, Jack. Hope you're well, my friend. He has said, Graham, where do you think we will finish at the end of this season? Tough one, this.
Yeah, it's very tough. I'll get my crystal ball out, Jack. In and around fourth. Chelsea, at the moment, don't look in a great place, but I think by the end of the window, that's the vulnerables. I don't believe we'll catch Man City and Liverpool. I mean, I don't think many people would. Success has got to be this year getting in the Champions League again. I think finishing in that 4th spot or 3rd. But I'd like to do better in these. I know the cups are hard now because Man City, Chelsea, and them dominate them. But for the captain to hold that trophy up in the air, this is what you go to watch football for. When people say it's not all about trophies, I just wonder their mentality. Yeah. So are we just sitting in that lovely stadium admiring the seats and the bar and things like that? We want to see winning teams winning things.
Graham, if it's not about the trophies, why didn't we just stay at White Hart Lane?
Yeah, I don't,
Why build a £1 billion stadium? I'll tell you why. Could it be anything to do with making them a lot richer?
Oh, it is, yeah. I mean, he's the highest paid CEO. We pay the highest season ticket prices, you know. And what do you get back in return sometimes?
Foggy Foamer said, that's why some wanted Conte out after his comments about the state of the club. Our fans are scared of the truth. Yes, Foggy Foam. This is the different. When Conte, Jose did it as well. When managers come out and tell the truth, our fans go, I didn't want him anyway. He can go if he can't cope. Blah, blah. What? When are they going to realise 22 years of failure, right? There is a common denominator. We do the same thing every window. I think we've done the same thing this window, Graham, that we always do. We've bought 1 or 2 very good players that go into the 11. Like last year, it was Romero. And then we bought 3 or 4 who are going to be hit or miss. That's what we do.
When you go back some years when we had the Nkudus and NGs and all those, I think the signings at the moment have moved up a groove or two.
Oh, they have. Yeah,
We're not
sure.
as we bought. I mean, we have bought. I mean, we can all write a list down. We have bought some very, very mediocre average players.
Do you want me to say it? Graham's too polite.
I know you could
We've
name
bought some absolute shit.
Yeah.
That's what Graham means to say. He's just polite.
I'm polite.
We've bought some toilet, Graham.
Yeah, and I think by expecting people to pay high prices for this, high prices for that, I think you're entitled to a bit more than that.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, 22 years, one trophy. Would you boast about that in the pub? Oh, I've been there. Or if you work for any firm and your success rate was as poor as that, you keep quiet, wouldn't you?
Yeah. So Rath has said, if we just buy Maddison and get rid of Ndombele and Celso, will you be happy with the window? No, because for me, there were 3 or 4 key areas to address in the window, and we've not addressed them. 3 haven't been addressed. The right wing back, Spence may come good, but for me, he should be learning off someone.
He won't get anybody else there in that position. He won't spend any more money.
Right wing back, a top centre back, and a creative force. And for me, if you get Maddison, brilliant. It solves one, but it still leaves us light in other areas. I'd be a lot happier if we got Maddison. Getting Ndombele Lo Celso out this club for me is paramount. I think they've been nothing good for the club in the last 3 years. I think they've both been absolutely dreadful. The attitude of Ndombele is absolutely disgusting, and yet still has a clique of fans that want to see him play.
Who brought them in the first place? I'd like to ask.
Yeah. Football Ferreira, hello, my friend. Always nice to see you. He said, if I did my Premier League predictions now, I would leave Spurs out of the top 4. Call me crazy. Luana said, you are negative is the most lazy type of debating someone's football opinion. I agree.
But going back to the one before, I think, if somebody says we're going to finish 5th, we don't want to, throw him under a load of stones, stone him to death.
No.
I admire somebody who says that, to be honest. Well done for saying that, because, I'm sitting here thinking 3rd, 4th, but it could easily be 5th. I mean, you just don't know. But well done for saying it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Always, but have the guts to be able to say it. Well done.
Matthew Emerson, I think this is what we're talking about earlier with Liverpool. I left off of last season. Origi played. Scott, I know what you're saying. He said
on the bench.
He's not that important, but he scored in the biggest of games.
Yeah.
He scores. Yeah. He's the bloke we've not got. He's the bloke that in the biggest of games, I'm talking Champions League finals, Cup finals, comes off the bench and adds a goal.
He's done it on a number of occasions, not just one-offs.
And in the Merseyside derby.
Yeah.
Kevin McBain has said, one of the best tricks Levy has pulled is convincing fans that we can't afford expensive players. If reports come out that a player would be 60 million plus, our fans immediately say we can't pay that.
But he says money doesn't buy success, he says.
Exactly.
That's a lovely cop-out, isn't it? That's a wonderful cop-out for somebody in charge. Well, money doesn't buy... hang on a minute. Have Man City and Liverpool not got any money then? Why are they top?
Yeah, absolutely. Football Ferreira said Nunes will get around 16 goals in the Premier League unless the kid gets unlucky long-term injury. Listen, I feel there's so much hate towards Darwin Nunes. From what I've seen of him, he scored some wonderful goals.
Yeah, why? I don't know why.
And he's in a team that create. We've got to remember that. He's in a team that create for him. Brian just saying Minamino has gone to Monaco.
He wasn't very good, was he?
Daniel Tyler has said, what players do you want to make you happy with the squad? Do you want to go first? Or
well, Maddison would be for starters, obviously, and Zaniolo. They're out there and we're looking at them. But, off the top of my head, there's a lot out there. I quite like Felix, the Atletico Madrid player. I think he's got a lot of ability. He's a clever player. I'm a great believer. If you in that number 10 position, you need someone clever, someone who can open the door, someone who can, sort of do a lovely bit of skill. And Felix is good. I like Felix. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't. Who can we send to Atletico Madrid in exchange?
Well, we've not got many that we'd want to get rid of that they would want.
He wouldn't want Simeone. Wouldn't want Ndombele, would he, for starters?
Oh, he wouldn't last 5 minutes in.
He'd be about 9 stone time. Simeone was finished with him.
For me, I'm just looking at there's wing backs that have gone in this window that made perfect sense. Molina from Udinese to Atletico. Mukiel's just signed today or yesterday from over to PSG when they've already got Hakimi. I bet their fans aren't saying, "Oh, well, he won't sit on a bench." For me, Singo, I'd take him at right wing back. I'd take Maley, centre back, Undercar, Hincapi, Ibanez. I just think there's so many players out there that I don't buy all this crap of, "Oh, well, we only wanted Bastoni and we'll wait till next window."
They're looking for the cheap option, aren't they? Let's be fair.
Of course they are. Of course they are. Phil President has said, "How are you, Graham and Savva? The biggest test is upcoming, and that is how bad we want to get rid of the likes of Ndombele. They will become disruptive and undo whatever Conte is planning." Mate, I'll be honest. I think that we should just accept whatever anyone wants to pay for them and get rid of them out of the club.
I think within Ndombele, it looks like it could be a season-long loan somewhere, I think. Just get his wages off. I mean, how much is that clown earning?
200 a week.
I mean, God, blimey.
Madness, isn't it?
Oh, season-long loan, Turkey somewhere.
Let's have a look. Let's just quickly catch up with some comments. Ryan said, "Let's be honest, Liverpool have recruited better." Yes.
Correct.
Paddy Hartnett, welcome, Paddy. He said it will be between Spurs, Chelsea and Arsenal for third, fourth and fifth. Sorry, for third and fourth. United will be there and thereabouts. Correct. But we are still miles off the top two.
Correct.
Spot on.
Close the show.
Jack has said, "I'd rather have Lord Sugar back than Levy." Stuart is saying he didn't see anyone wanting Conte out. I'll be honest, Stuart, I did. I saw people when he was saying that basically we need to recruit better, we need this. The fans going, "Oh, he can't hack it," all this.
He's a big bonus for us. We didn't get fourth. We got fourth, I think, a lot to do with him.
Mm-hmm. Brian has said Liverpool spent 76 million, recouped 72, net spend of 4 million. Okay, I'm not sure what that was in regards to, but yeah, Liverpool are in a wonderful position where they don't need to do a lot.
Yeah, got there. They've arrived.
Liverpool, each window can go, right, you two out, these two in. Spurs are miles off that.
We've got to look at Liverpool and aspire to that.
Yeah.
Not dig at them, aspire to that.
Yeah. Caveman, spot on. He said, "I don't care how people felt. Mourinho was right to say, same players, different coach. We were shit." Agreed. Jeffrey Miller has said, "With our current squad, barring any major injury, we will compete well in all four competitions." I mean, I don't know what squad he's looking at. Jeffrey, what squad? I'll ask you, Jeffrey, no one else. Jeffrey, come into the chat and tell me who's our squad, because I see a team. Tell me, after who are we subbing off for Kane, Son and Kulusevski? Who are we subbing off for Perisic and Spence? Sorry, I just don't see it. He's put, if we get Zaniolo, though, he mostly won't start. Jeffrey, I don't think you've ever seen Zaniolo play, have you? Sorry, mate. Jeffrey, look, you're probably a lovely guy, but when people start saying things like that, that screams of never having watched Zaniolo play.
He'll play a lot of games.
He is seriously talented.
That's why all the matches we got this season, we're going to need people to play a lot of games.
Yeah. Aaron has said, "Hello, Aaron. Welcome to you. ENIC have built a venue. They've bought up property in N17, opposed and are currently challenging a housing development opposite the new Gaga NFL stadium. Fans are twonks. We're a football club, not ENIC." Agreed. I don't care about all that.
Yeah.
Like you don't, Aaron.
That's all ENIC are interested in.
That's what they're interested in. Let's see if we can quickly catch up. THFC 14 has said some of our fans are more interested in the training ground and the stadium. Buying top-class players to use these facilities would be a good idea, no? Yes,
see, we're led to believe the ground and the training ground was the thing that to bring all the money in. And I know they were quoted to me last week about Arsenal, what happened with Arsenal, but they were still winning trophies, weren't they? Even though we're going into transition with their new stadium, they were still winning things.
Yep.
I'm going to be interested to see how much money from that stadium. Forget the training ground. Obviously, you're going to get money from that, but from the stadium will actually generate back into the team. So let's give it another year or so. Are we going to start spending 80, 90 million based on that stadium? Because that's what we were told was going to happen. That's why he's built it.
Mm-hmm. Let's. Ronan has said, I'm not going to go in too deep in this, but Ronan has said, is a Liverpool fan, has said, why does every Spurs fan love Poch? He bought the two players everyone hates, Lo Celso and Ndombele. False. Listen, I'm not going to get into a Poch debate, but a lot of the crap that is at Tottenham Hotspur now was bought under Poch's reign and we're still struggling to get rid of it. That's all I'm going to say. Ian Barron has said, Sky Sports breaking news, Spurs have made a £10 million bid for Man United's Phil Jones.
That wouldn't surprise me at all.
It wouldn't. It just wouldn't surprise me. And what would surprise me even less is if we bought him, the number of fans that would go, oh, I've always liked Phil Jones. Yeah, Conte will get the best out of him.
I thought he retired. He still play?
Richard Coffey, great point. Hey, Sav, would City or Liverpool buy Jed Spence? No, of course they wouldn't. Of course they wouldn't. No. Mark O'Connor has said we can't solve all the problems in one window. Now, Mark, that is correct.
True.
We can't, which is why when fans turn around to me and go, we're challenging for a title and we've got this big squad depth, bear that in mind. We can't solve everything in one window. But so far, we've spent about net 40 million. Why can't we go and spend another 100, 150? Why? Why can't we?
Well, I don't get it. Levy they don't want to do it, Enoch, and that's not their. They're not going to do it. Mm-hmm. They want to get there without spending big money. They're relying on the manager to do it. That's why so many have fallen by the side. They won't get a better one than this bloke.
David Clark said, I agree with most things you have said, but just because Levy buys a cheap Spence, that hasn't stopped Conte getting a world-class wing-back. Yeah, but I mean, listen, I wouldn't say Perisic is world-class, if that's what you're referring to. I think he's been a class player. I wouldn't say at 33 he's world-class. And he was a free. The point is, when do we ever go out and go, how much do you want for that top player? You want 50 million. Bang. That's the difference. Chelsea are going for Diego Costa. Football Ferreira said, well said, my man. Nunes in a team that can create, he doesn't need to move around too much. I think he's a good finisher.
He'll be fine. Don't worry about Nunes.
Yeah,
he'll do well there.
He will.
No doubt about it.
Yeah. Ronan talking about Poch's recruitment again. Yeah, look, as I said, I don't want to get into a Poch conversation. What I will stick up for Poch and say is the common denominator through Redknapp, Poch, AVB, Yol, is that Levy's involved. That's the key denominator. Maxwell Martin, the winner of our Spurs shirt last night. Good to talk to you on Instagram. He said, honestly, he would like Zaniolo and Kilman, if possible, or Ndicka. Seems we are going for bigger bodies in our players this summer. Interesting. Coach Silver said, Kasper Schmeichel has left Leicester.
Right.
Is this true?
Wow.
Can anyone else collaborate?
Corroborate.
Corroborate.
Oh, corroborate. That's the one. Sorry. Yeah, we're getting our operates.
Can anyone else corroborate?
What a great career he's had there, isn't he?
Oh, wonderful.
His father weren't bad either.
Wonderful. Is this true? I've not seen anything from Romano.
Something funny at Leicester, isn't there? Something's not right at Leicester. Do you not think? Do you get that feeling?
Oh, God, yeah, something's not right there.
Something's not right there. This is the time to pick out Maddison. I mean, if Arsenal were to sign him, I think I'd just sit in the corner and cry.
Just from Fabrizio Romano has just said that Everton are seriously interested in signing Ruben Vinegra from Wolves. He has also said that Mukiel has officially signed, picture of him in the shirt and everything for PSG. And that Tottenham are in talks with Villarreal over the sale of Lo Celso. XOGXLO1, Sav, why do you think we ain't going for all these players you want? It's not about... Let's get this clear. It's not the players I want. It's the players we need.
Yeah.
Huge difference. And Daniel Levy, quite simply. Let's have a look. David Clark said, if we had bought Nunes, I guarantee you would have said he's only had one good season and you Spurs fans are going wild. Right, David Clark, I don't get this guy.
What have we got against Nunes? I can't see why Nunes is a problem.
The difference between Spurs and Liverpool is huge. Right? The difference is Liverpool they can if they want to, but Liverpool don't have to bring in a guy at 85 million and make him their number one striker if they don't want to, because they've still got Firmino, Jota, Salah and Diaz. Right? If Spurs ever spent 85 million pounds on a player, he would go straight in and be your number one choice. Plus Nunes or Richarlison. I'll leave that there. I know who I'm rather.
Well, Nunes every time.
Right. So please, David, don't ever. I hate it when people do this. I guarantee you would say this. No, I'm the only one that guarantees what I would say. Let's make that really clear to everyone in the comments. David, if you ever want to come on and debate, we'll debate. But never, ever, and I hate it when people do this, tell me what I would say. Because I'm not backwards in coming forwards. Am I, Graham?
No, not at all. Again, it's knocking Liverpool again, isn't it?
Football Thrower said, Graham is the man for sitting down with and having a proper football talk for hours, and you know you will enjoy it.
Anytime you're welcome. I charge, but anytime. I can remember a lot, I mean, it's good to talk. I think it's nice. Hopefully you don't mind someone older like me doing it because, I know
you're only a year older than me.
Yeah, but I know people think when you get past 30, you don't know what you're talking about. You sort of football's not the same. There's a goal at each end, I think, still like there was in the 19.
And it's still 11v11.
Yeah.
David Clark said, Aaron, that's not for me to say. We have a world-class director of football and manager. It's up to them. I don't know what makes Fabio Paratici a world-class director. I've not seen.
No.
For me, he struggles to get rid of the deadwood. And for me, he's brought in a lot of questionable players. So I don't know.
It must be incredibly difficult working with Levy.
Oh,
I mean, I give him the credit there. I'd give him another year or two before I make any judgment on that, whether he's world-class. Well, this world-class like players, he's world-class.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call him world-class.
Yeah. Caveman selling losers telling winners how to win. Well, absolutely, Caveman. This is what we do. Our fans keep telling Liverpool and City your recruitment's no good. Yeah, they've not done well.
I wonder how they get to the top. Are they lucky every week?
It's like somebody said to me the other day, Calvin Phillips at City, not a good buy. Turned around and said, Pep's not buying him if he doesn't want him.
He'll improve him as well.
Of course he will. Of course he will.
He's the top man.
Richard Coffey has said, Mane is a huge loss for Liverpool. Huge. He's a loss, but I don't think it's anything they can't make up. I mean, when you look at it last season, he got 16 league goals, which is a good return, and 2 assists. With Diaz coming in, plus Fabio Carvalho, plus Nunes, are we saying, plus Jota, Firmino and Salah, are we saying that there's not enough goals to make up that difference?
Interestingly, Alex Ferguson always let people go at the right time, didn't he? I mean, when he let people think, what's he letting go for? And I think Klopp may have looked at it and thought, well, we'll let him go because we've got X, Y, Z. Otherwise, he'd have fought harder to keep him.
Eddie Ryan said, and by the way, big up, there's 150 of you in the chat. I wasn't expecting for that many people. There's 157 of you in the chat and only 57 likes. Can I please ask everyone to just quickly go out and smash that like button? It helps me and it's free for you. Please, 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 please. Caveman saying there, Phil Jones will convert into right wing back.
Yeah.
Eddie Ryan has said, we were moaning last season saying we didn't have enough players. We're in the same position this season because we'll be getting rid of about 5 players.
Yeah. Good point.
Right, Eddie, Eddie, that's what I keep telling people. But people seem to think we've bought 6. Don't know why I'm going over there. So people seem to think we've bought 6 on top of what we've already got.
I think the strength of the bench is going to be a key to this season.
Yeah.
Because they're not going to play every game. I'm sad to say, Kane and Son are not going to play every game. Now, it's how many points we can get. I remember him missing 11 games once, Kane, and we only won 1.
Yeah.
So you just don't know.
Graham, the squad depth, I'm still of the opinion, Henry and I talk about this every day at work. If Kane and Romero get injured, that's top 4 gone. Yeah, because that's your centre-back and your only creative player. So touch wood, nothing happens to them either beginning part of the season or at the World Cup.
Yeah.
Brian Murphy has said, Savva, we can spend 400 million without breaching FFP rules. We're the only club in the league that can do that. Mate, I agree. Someone came on, Brian, to a show I was on the other day and said to me, and Brian, by the way, I like it that we can chat and disagree and it's all good-hearted, my man. I like that. And hopefully that's the way you take it in the YouTube chat. Someone came into me, Graham, and said, Savva, you think we can go and spend this money. What about FFP? And my response was, we are so far away from breaking any FFP rules. It's unreal. Yeah. We don't ever have major outlays.
Although we can spend 400 million, most of that's going to go to a new yacht, I think, for Lewis, if that was the case.
Oh, David, okay, apologies. You said no. I mean, it hasn't stopped Conte having the money to buy a world-class wing-back. No, I agree, but we won't do it. We won't do it. And then it's the same thing when people tell me, hang on. Sorry, let's just...
What we don't want is the rest of the window to be a damp squib, do we?
Oh, of course we don't.
To fizzle out and,
So apparently Kasper Schmeichel's going to Nice in France. That's a
nice place.
I'll tell you what, I would have had him as Loris's backup.
I love their biscuits, don't you?
I would have had him as Loris. Very good. Now that's an old man joke right there.
Well,
Caveman has said Liverpool scout properly and damn well. We got Carlos Vinicius and flunked. Absolutely. Brian,
he's a good signing, Vinicius. Christ almighty.
And people told me that that's the striker Jose Mourinho wanted.
Wouldn't have got in a Div 1 side.
Trash papers like Mail and The Sun say Schmeichel going to Nice, subject to Leicester finding a replacement first. All I'm saying is I'm going on to, if it was done, Romano would report it.
How old is he? He's about 34, 35, is he, Schmeichel?
I don't know anymore.
He's obviously looking at final payday, isn't it? Final payday.
Leicester apparently worried about FFP, so they could need a rebuild and sell the likes of Maddison, who wants to play Champions League. Do you know what? I'll be honest. I'm so bored of if Maddison is the target, go and bloody get him. Like, I don't understand what we do. Lee Coys, 1882, has said, Savva, big up from Denver, Colorado, and Colorado Spurs, and now Mile High Hotspur. I love the content. Thank you very much. Welcome to everyone over there. And I love the content as well. But listen, we only have content that we talk about because of you lot in the chat. Let's have a look. Perisic is far better than you're saying. He is just asked coaches around Europe. I didn't say he wasn't good. Did I?
No.
I said he's not world class.
You said he was 33 now.
To be world class, I think you are the best of the best of the best. And I love Perisic. I wanted him. I don't think that's world class.
Words that are used too often.
Far too often.
Great sign. Good sign. Tremendous signing, really.
Kuvanite 9 is back. He said, with some fans, when we sign a great player, the director of football is a genius. But if the player is shit, then the manager takes the blame. Potts was given players he didn't really want. Spence the same for Conte. Kuva agreed.
Well, he's obviously spoken out about Spence, hasn't he?
Listen,
he's distanced himself from that.
Of course he has.
See, Levy, at the end of the day, he wants players he can get money back from, isn't he? I mean, this is what he's tried to do. He's failed on numerous occasions to do it. He's brought players in where he hasn't made a profit on it.
Eddie Ryder said, Graham, I'm 74, watched football all my life, and people still tell me I know nothing about football.
Crikey, it's nice to have somebody who's older than me. But quite right. Oh, yeah.
Right, Graham's older than you.
I follow cricket as well. And, the young lads, if you said to them, you bat this way, bowl this way, they look at you as much as say, what do you know about it? Don't forget, we've watched football for all those years. And I think watching the game, playing is important as well, but watching the game, you learn all the time.
Yeah.
All levels as well. Watching football at all levels.
Yeah. Bradley Street has said, Bradley Saint. Sorry, hey, Sav, I love the content as always. Got to say, I feel we need another 3 players to cement just top 4.
Yeah, sure.
Bradley, I'll tell you what I think. Graham, you let me know if you agree or disagree. I think a lot of Spurs fans are really taking it for granted that we're just going to turn up and get top 4. I'm not saying we won't, but I don't think it's going to be that easy. I really don't.
No, because other teams will make it hard for us.
Right. Let's assume, Graham, West Ham, for example, that are bringing in Kostic, Skamaka, they brought in that centre-half. Let's say they get knocked out the Europa League early, and now they've got 1 game a week for the rest of the season.
And I rate him as a manager. I think he's been an excellent manager over the years, Moyes. Very good manager. And
Graham, I don't know what you think. I don't think Man United are going to be a mile away from it.
Well,
I think they're going to be a lot better under this guy.
Yeah.
Well,
he'll have them organised. I think he'll have them organised in the plan. Last year, when I watched Man United play, you never know who was doing what, did you? And then the next game, there'd be a load of more changes. They need a settled season. I think Man United. They need to get people in the right positions and keep that team as a unit. Work on that team. I get the feeling that he'll do a lot better than what's gone before. Hopefully, not too well.
Oh, sorry, just sort of saying that really quickly. Please keep hitting the like button. We're stuck on 75 likes and there's 150 of you in the show. El Sayed said, agreed with everything you said, Savva. Good. Yeah. Wolves F1, big up Savva and Graham. And of course, the chat.
Good old Wolves.
Football Ferreira said, Savva knows a bit more now. He knows my knowledge and understanding about the game. Guys, like you too. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Aaron and Dab has said, David Clark shifted out no one, overspent on Richarlison, Basuma one good deal. If our world-class director of football is so good, why hasn't the shite been sold? Come on, man. I agree.
I disagree with that.
Again, look, do people know enough about Paratici to call him world-class? Because a lot of people at Juventus said that he always struggled to get rid of Deadwood.
Yeah.
Now, a great director of football wouldn't.
We don't know what goes on there, do we? We don't know what restrictions he's working under. Is he given? He's certainly not given a free run. I think people think he's just given a free run to go and buy who he likes.
Yeah,
I don't think so. I would imagine he's under quite a lot of restriction, and but we just don't know, do we? For all we know, we're going to have 3 or 4 more signings. He's out there as we speak. Interesting, they get off the plane at Korea. He's there all the time. We watch a game at home, and he's sitting in the front row. I don't want them doing that. I want them out watching players.
Yeah.
I know he's director of football as such, but he's shouting out instructions. I mean, wow.
Yeah, I don't get it. I've never seen a director of football sitting on the bench every game. I don't understand it, because I'm thinking to myself, if we're playing, other leagues across the world are playing. Go out and watch games.
I remember being at the training ground at Charlton one Sunday, and there were a load of our scouts watching the games. And the youth team manager said, "What are they doing here?" He said, "We've signed these players already. These are our players. We don't need scouts here watching our own teams. People just turned up and watched the team play."
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to ask you a question, Graham, then I just quickly need to transfer some money to someone really quickly. So I'm going to be really rude in the background. First of all, El Sayed has come in with a donation. Thank you very much. Half of that does go to charity. He said, dare, dream, do. I don't see that in our transfer window so far. We are missing the chance to go to that next level again. Now, Graham, just before I quickly do this, I'm going to ask you to talk about this subject.
Yeah.
When I see loads of fans in the window, in the chat saying, it's a process. Yeah. It's a project. Yeah. It's going to take time. My worry is Conte's not that type of manager, right? Kane and Son are not getting any younger. Have we got the time to sit here and go, we're building for 3 years down the line? Or is this the opportunity where we've got the manager, got Kane and Son at their peak, got Champions League, got Romero, got the stadium making money? Is now the time?
For me, absolutely. As you said, Son and Kane are going to come and give them another year or two, and they're going to come into the sort of time where they're going to get even more injuries. They're going to getting older, obviously. This is the ideal time. How long will Conte stay? How long will Conte be at the club? You've got Conte there. You've got the 2 very, very good strikers, forwards. This is the time. This is the time to do it. That's why I can't understand why they don't throw money at it. Well, I know because Levy's there. But this is the time really to go, right. I think that's what Liverpool did, didn't they? There was a time there they said, right, we're going to go out and get a goalkeeper. We're going to go out and get a centre-back. And they did that. And they've never looked back. This is the opportunity for us to try and put pressure on the top sides. We've got 4th, great achievement. Champions League again, great achievement. But I think now is the time to do it. Not in 2 or 3 years' time, Conte may be gone. Son and Kane, maybe sort of you think, it's going to come a time where they're not going to be as quick, they're not going to be as effective. Strike while the iron's hot, and I think the iron is warming up. This is the time to do it for me.
Yeah, absolutely. So sorry about that, people. Adam Sells said, and please keep hitting that like button for me. Let's at least get to 100 likes. We're on 84, and if anyone does want to leave a super chat, it does go to charity. Yeah. Graham, good question. Welcome, Adam Searles. Always know Adam's in the chat. You see his name and you see a picture of
Superman.
Christopher Reeve as Superman, no less.
Christopher Reeve.
Very sad. Very sad. What do both of you think of the goalkeeper situation? Are Lloris and Forster good enough, or would you have brought in a better challenge for Hugo? Guessing Brandon Austin will be third choice. Now, I'll come to you in a second, Graham. For me, I think what they've done, and I'm stealing this sentence from someone else, but I agree with them. I think all Spurs have done is kicked the goalkeeping problem a year down the line. I think because we need so many players in so many positions, we're sticking with what we've got. I think ideally in next year, the goalkeeper needs to be upgraded.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Lloris will play in the vast majority of the games. What Forster is, he's a very, very experienced keeper who, if Lloris was to break a finger, you could put him in and he'll do a good job. You know it, because he's done it many, many times before. I think they're going to look to ease Lloris out gradually. They're going to need to buy, in the next year or two, a top-class goalkeeper. A young keeper, not very young, but a good, they're going to have to do that, because there's going to come a time again where Lloris won't be as effective. He won't be as quick. It's the aging process, isn't it? Forster will definitely cover him well. He was a good, vast improvement on the bloke we had last year. This bloke's done it, isn't he? This bloke's done it. And so, yeah.
Kuva99 says, spot on, Graham. Now is the time. We won't be getting another Conte anytime soon. This is the thing, Kuva. We talked about this for many hours, mate, is people want to tell me, we've got the manager. Okay, great. But yeah, let's wait a couple of years. We can do these things next year. So let me put this situation to everybody. Hypothetical before anyone has a go at me. Let's say next year, Graham, Spurs finish 5th. And for whatever reason, Conte is sacked or walks. We've now started the next season with no Champions League, no Conte. And we would have missed a glaring opportunity this summer to have gone out and got top players.
Well, he's one of the top managers in the world.
Right.
They don't come along all the time, do they?
Yeah.
Without a shadow of a doubt, this is the time, this window, possibly the next one as well, we need to sort of get this team really up and firing, because it would be easy to slip back. Without a shadow, with other teams around us, they're not going to make it easy for us. They're not going to let us have 3rd, 4th place easily. And you can always fear Chelsea a little bit. I'm not a great Tuchel fan in a lot of ways, but they've got the clout, haven't they? They've got the clout. There seems to be a little bit of disarray at the moment.
Let's come on to Chelsea in a minute.
Yes.
If that's no. You don't have to ever apologise to me, Graham. You teach me.
I won't ever again.
We'll talk about Chelsea in a minute. Paddy has said, I don't like dare, dream, do. It has always been to dare is to do and always will be. Paddy, I'll be honest, for me, it doesn't matter what words we use, we don't do it, do we? To dare is to do. All right, but our right backs from 12.5 million with no experience. Yeah, our centre back coming in's on loan. Our best signing of the window has been a free. It's like, where's the dare? We're doing, but where's the daring? Yeah. Jeffrey Miller has said, I agree, now is the time to take that leap. Yes, it is, Jeffrey. Paul 2310 has said, big up Savva and Graham. If you don't follow Paul, please go and follow Paul.
Well done, Paul.
This guy does my thumbnails and all my pictures for me.
He's bigging us up. He must know what he's talking about.
He is. He's a good lad. He's a good lad out there in the States. Where are you in the States, Paul? Remind me again. I would like Maddison to Spurs, says Jack Taylor, and that Roma player definitely would be a good fit. Yeah, Zaniolo's a very good player. Roma have got some really good players, and they've just added to it with players like Dybala. Wolves F1 said, in my mind, Lloris is kind of 10th ranking Premier League goalie, not the most strength and position at Spurs team. I've heard the World Cup winner, so what? So what? There's last 92 years, 250 World Cup winners, men's game. And absolutely. I get what you're saying. Just because you've won a World Cup doesn't make you an elite player.
He's been a great servant to Tottenham Hotspur's football players.
Yeah, absolutely. Simon Cohen has said, you boys talk a lot of sense. And in small writing, Graham, it says, other than Graham, who talks absolute shit. No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
I'll wear my glasses next time. I can't see the small print.
It doesn't. Jack Taylor has said, Conte sacked. It will never happen, Savin. Even Levy isn't bad enough to do that. Oh, he would. Oh, Jack.
He's a big worry, Levy.
He would.
I mean, let's say my friend last week, he loves Levy. He thinks he's wonderful. And when you hear someone say these things, you think, where's he coming from?
Oh.
Again, it's his opinion, but like, it does make you scratch your head.
Yeah. Let's have a look at this. Nitin. Hello, Nitin. I said, do you trust Eric Dyer as the first choice central centre-back? So in the middle of the three.
I think when the ball's coming straight at him, down the middle, he's good. Heads it away. Watch him, and a number of times last year on set pieces, on corners, his positional sense, his positioning of his body is all wrong. He's often facing the wrong way. I mean, defending is not easy to coach, but one of the basics of defending is open body so you can see around you. You don't go square on. And a number of balls that go across the penalty area and other people get in front of him, over him. That's my worry. I mean, yes, he's very good. Everybody looks at him when the ball's coming straight down the middle and you see him. People don't pick him out in amongst all the, I've noticed him a lot of defensive errors that he makes. He'll do a job, definitely do a job. There's no doubt about it. And he's Spurs man through and through, but I would like to see better than him, personally.
I would say that Eric Dyer is a good squad player.
Yeah.
I think that when people go, oh my God, he had a great year last year, all I can think of is they're not actually watching him when he's defending.
No.
Like Graham said, his positional sense is very poor. And I don't like the fact how many times, Graham, he turns his back on forwards.
He does.
Can you imagine John Terry ever turning his back on a forward? No. Body on the line. So Dyer for me is a good squad player.
Yeah.
But I think if you want to start talking about winning things, you want to start talking about challenging, would City or Liverpool have Eric Dyer at centre half?
No.
Right.
No disrespect.
There's your answer.
But no.
There's your answer.
Again, it's being realistic, isn't it?
Would Chelsea?
No.
Chelsea have just gone and bought Koulibaly to play that position. Yeah. They've got Thiago and Koulibaly. We've got Dyer, Davis, Sanchez, Road. There are levels to this. Hodgod10 has said, hi, Savva Graham. How many transfer windows is needed to compete with City, Liverpool and Chelsea in all competitions?
Well, at least one more, at least. I'd say two more, would you say?
4, 5.
But you've got to spend money.
No
matter how many windows, you can have all the windows.
Yeah.
But you've got to spend the money to get the top players in. The more top players you've got in the side, the less chance you've got of losing, isn't it? I mean, you diminish that chance because they make less mistakes.
I think the thing is, we do this a lot. I'm not saying you do this, Hodgod, and thanks for the question, but we do this a lot. What we do is we put a number on the windows. We put a number on the signings rather than the quality. For me, this could be done in 1 window or 10 windows. It's about the quality. If for the next 10 windows we keep doing what we're doing, I don't think we'll ever be challenging City and Liverpool.
I think those 3 windows, when we only bought one player, has been very costly to Spurs.
Set us back massively.
We sat on our laurels.
Yeah, we did.
Rested on our laurels, rather.
Jan Tranner said Kim Min-jae eats Eric Dyer and now he's joined Napoli. Okay, that's an interesting conversational technique, but I like it. Gogama, hello, welcome. Always in every stream. Hello to you out there in Korea. Hope you are well. I like your pictures on Instagram. Very cool, very arty. Like it. Welcome. Jan Tranner said Eric Dyer has worse mobility and speed. Agreed. It's important to have some speed to push up the back line. Again, my worry is not Romero.
No.
My worry is the 2 either side of him. I think you need a top bloke to play him at middle that cajoles, organises. Now, it doesn't even have to be the best defender you've ever seen, but it needs to be a leader and someone who talks. Now, I remember someone once taught me when coaching, right, that whoever is your main man at the back has, more importantly than their ability, is this: talking you through a game. Yeah. You get in here, you get in there, push out, come with me, right? Go, stay, all of this. Now, a player like, I'm not saying we should buy him, but a player like Connor Cody. Connor Cody does that.
He would be ideal.
Not the best centre-back in the world, but you never see him making mistakes. He doesn't turn his back, and he talks his defence through the whole game. And Wolves are very good defensively.
Dyer you would call a stopper, wouldn't you? In the good old term, a stopper.
Yeah.
Gives everything for the team. Not going to, say too much against it. He does a lot for the team. He's a good team player, great Spurs man, no doubt about it, but has technical weaknesses.
Coover has said Disco Dyer will always turn away from a shot and do his Travolta move. Unacceptable for a centre half, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, absolutely.
Agreed. But if you speak to some people, apparently the back end of last season, he was the reincarnation of Franco Baresi.
People say he should be in the England squad.
I don't think he's good enough. Stephen has said, hopefully Spence will turn out like Liverpool's Robertson signing from Hull. Big teams do try to find diamonds in the rough. Hold that thought. Let's remember, and again, I hear this a lot. Let's remember, Robertson had already played in the Premier League for Hull. He'd already been there, I believe, I want to say 2 seasons. Can someone check that up?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he did. I hear this same thing, Stephen, about Walker. They go, oh, we'll book Carl Walker from Sheffield United and look how he turned out. But when Carl Walker joined Spurs, he didn't go straight into our team. He went on loan to QPR, Villa, who were in the lower league at that time, and I think back to Sheffield United.
Yeah.
So again, I by the way, I'm not saying Spence should be loaned out. I've never said that. I think Spence looks a good player. All I've ever questioned is the ambition behind that for what people tell me is the most important position in a Conte team, one of the wing backs.
Yeah. What we don't want to see now is Emerson Royal being the number 1 and the other 2 fighting for. Don't want to see that. But
we're going cheap again, Graham. What's going to happen is he will push Lucas into that right wing back position.
Whoa.
Fans will say, "Oh, brilliant, master stroke." No, go and buy a proper right wing back.
Yeah. He suddenly realised that. I mean, he's had him there quite a while under his tutelage, isn't he? I'm surprised he's now decided that. I bet he don't play wing back when the season starts.
David always said, yeah, Dyer is a squad player. Liverpool pays 70 million on a centre half. Now, you know what? I remember at the time, do you remember, Graham, when they signed Virgil van Dijk?
Yeah.
And so many Spurs fans go, what a waste of money. He's shit. And I remember a guy I know at Southampton turned around to me and said, honestly, he went, I'm not just saying it. He went, he is one of the best centre-backs I've ever seen. He said, this guy is epic. The difference is Liverpool went out, spent 70, went big, yeah? And look at their defence now.
Yeah, absolutely. And the keeper.
And they added Konate to that as well. This is the thing.
Well, they looked at where they were weak and filled that and spent money on that positions.
Yeah.
We're not doing that at the moment, are we? We're not spending money on the positions that we need strengthening.
Yeah. Jace has said, if we passed up on Ericsson to get a younger, better passing threat through the middle, who else are we signing? Now, just quickly before we answer who else, for me, Graham, from looking at the squad now, looking at the depth, looking at the lack of creativity, I cannot understand how that wasn't done in week 1 of the window.
Ericsson.
I just don't get it. That's just my personal opinion. I don't understand it.
No.
Younger players that fit that mould. Paqueta.
Yeah. Arsenal linked with him, haven't they?
Oh, don't. If they don't, very good player. Paqueta, Maddison, players like that, a younger version. But for me, Christian Eriksen on a 3-year deal would have been an absolute no-brainer. And I'd be a lot happier right now. Got loads of comments in the chat. Thank you so much. I'm really happy with how the channel's going. Let me know if there's anything different you want to see moving forward from my channel. We're trying to get a lot of content out. Obviously, there'll be loads more during the season. We're not going, by the way, but join myself and Henry tomorrow night for Savva and Wright Live tonight, where we'll be talking about the Premier League, talking about the Champions League, talking about the last week's transfers from across the world. And I need 13 more likes to get to 100 likes, please. It's been a busy one today.
A good one.
I mean, Justin Farragan has said Koulibaly for 38 million would have been perfect. Now, Graham, there is something. Let's talk about Chelsea.
Yeah.
There is something to say that if we had bid for him, Chelsea may have gone and got him anyway. But players like that, we never seem to go and make that sensible signing.
No, they just go bang, straight in and done.
Done.
No messing about. There's no negotiating for 3 months and trying to cut the fee down. Yeah. They just pay the money. And that's what good owners do.
No.
How much is he worth? 45 million. Can we get 40? If not, bomb, 42, done. That's what good owners do.
let's talk about Chelsea now. At the moment, let's be fair. If you were going to say there's a team we could overtake, it would be Chelsea, right?
Yeah.
Chelsea, for me, I have this feeling. I've had this feeling for a while, so I could be completely wrong here. And this is just a feeling. I've got a feeling that in the next 4 weeks, Chelsea will go out because of the statements Tuchel has just made.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
That the new owners will go bang, 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 and they're going to get a top forward, another top centre half, and another attacker. What do you reckon?
Well, I think it's a given that will happen. I can't see any way that he'll. To me, I thought last season they got a mishmash of it, and they've got a lot of players, but there didn't seem any structure to it. You never knew. A bit like the Man United thing, they got a lot of players. You never know who was going to play the next game.
Yeah,
I like to see more of a settled side. He doesn't seem to do that. You've got to be strong at the back. That's the thing. And once he's shored up the back, the keeper sorted, midfield as well, then there'll be a strong unit. Centre forwards might be. But as you say, this bloke's got money. I think he'll have to spend. Why has he come there if he's not prepared to spend money? If they don't spend anymore, but they're certainly vulnerable, yes.
Yeah. We're going to go for another 7 minutes, by the way. 7 minutes we're going to go for. Jack Taylor said, I'm sorry, Savva, but Spence I don't rate. He simply is a championship level player. Look, for me, Jack, what I've said about Spence, I've been consistent. I want to be wrong, but I've said I think that Jed Spence is a good player. I don't think he should be starting in a team that wants to do well in top four and challenge, but I do think somebody else should come in above him. I'm not saying I don't want him in the club.
What I've seen him, he's much quicker and sharper than the other two. I mean, much quicker and sharper. The question mark at the moment is, can he assist? Can he put over those lovely crosses? Now, we don't know whether he's championship level or premiership level because he's not played in the premiership.
Yeah.
So we don't know. Let's see. After 10, 12, 15 games, people might say, yeah, he's done really, really well. Because you never know at any sport, really, a player, if you move them up a level, some people struggle. Some people just take to it like a duck, duck in water, really. And it could be, I'm not going to judge him until you've seen him a number of times. Is he championship level? Who knows? I think he could be a little bit, judging by Chris Wilder and the other guys' sort of comments on him, I just feel he could be a little bit of a troublemaker. I don't know. But Conte will get that out of him anyway. There'll be no problem with that. I just feel he might surprise people, man.
Yeah. Robert Evans has said De Jong and Bastoni would turn this window into a 10 out of 10, maybe our best window ever. I hate to break it to you, neither of those players are coming to Tottenham Hotspur. We simply don't have that ambition.
That's what we need.
And we don't have let's be really, really honest. Would Frankie de Jong leave Barcelona for Tottenham?
No.
I don't believe he would.
He would not.
Someone else, Harish, said, we're going to finish up in a few minutes, by the way. Harish Babu said, buy Kostic and play Perisic on the right. I would take that all day long. Kostic, for me, at 10 million, Graham, is a no-brainer.
Snip.
What else have we got before we wrap up? Coach Silver said, biggest problem we have is despite 6 signings, we need to do so much more work that even having a good window, we'll want more. Going to take ages and it's due to underinvestment. But
absolutely. They made a roll for their own back.
I agree and I don't. I don't think it's been that good a window. I think it's been okay. I think when people are saying good window, I think it's lots of players that we would have signed in years gone by. There's nothing that we've done that makes me go, we're a Champions League team now.
Agreed.
That's the difference, Coach Silver. Yeah. It's all well and good going, that's not a bad player. That's a good... Nothing that goes, God, they're a Champions League club. Like Chelsea going, Koulibaly, bang. Raheem Sterling, bang.
Can we afford to rotate, really, when you think about it? Who would we rotate and bring in instead? You're not going to say to Harry Kane, but have a rest for a couple of weeks. We can't really rotate, can we? Yes, we probably could, with Richarlison and Kulusevich, yes. Kulusevski, we can rotate there, but where else are you going to rotate? I'd always have Højbjerg in that middle. I wouldn't change that a great deal.
Kevin McBain has said, Ali Gold says Spurs absolutely love Guehi at Palace and he is on their centre-back list. Thoughts on him? I would take Guehi. Guehi looks to be a very good centre-back for me. He's English. He solves the homegrown quota. He's a good age, could come in, get 5 to 10 years out of him. Again, would Spurs go to Palace and go, what, you want 50 million? Bang.
Palace fans always moan. They don't like when you talk about that player. They don't like it, do they? So he must be good.
Jack Taylor said, why does Bastoni want to stay with Inter Milan? Well, Inter Milan are more often than not challenging for the title. They're a Champions League club. It's his home. It's where he's from. He's only 23 years of age.
Enough reasons.
Enough, yeah. I don't feel that every player has to move. De Jong is on 360k a week. Could you imagine Daniel Levy's face?
Well, you just have a heart attack. To revive him.
We are going to wrap up there, if that's right with you, Graham.
You wrap up, yeah, fine. Yeah.
Guys, wonderful show. We haven't had anyone silly in the chat. It's been great.
Thanks too.
Just quickly, Jan Tranner said, maybe controversial. Is Conte outdated as a manager? Tottenham is the only team who counter-attack transition.
He's been successful, isn't he? He got us fourth. Don't forget, he's got us fourth place. Like we finished in the Champions League positions, and not many would have predicted it. So I'm not one. I mean, if we start off with a few dicky results, I'm sure people will start getting on Conte's back. His system's wrong. He don't do this. He don't do that.
Yeah.
He proved those people wrong at the end of last season. We finished fourth. Back him. Support him.
Yeah. Absolutely. Look, we are going to wrap it up there. I think. Sorry, just quickly before I wrap it up, I think what we've got to realise, with Conte as well, that's his way of playing. So when we say outdated, every manager's got a different way of playing, which is why when people tell me Jose's outdated, no, he's got his way of playing. Conte's got his way. Klopp's got his way. Pep's got his way. Tuchel's got his way. I think, though, that the best managers are the ones that can adapt.
I think you need a plan B.
Got to have a plan B.
When plan A is not working.
Unless your plan A is Man City's, you've got to have a plan B. Other than that, thank you very much. Much love to you all. I will see you all tomorrow night. Please come and share the love for me and Henry. It's a show about football, not just a Spurs show, but it's good. We get to learn about other teams, other players, other leagues, the Champions League. So join us tomorrow night at 10 o'clock for that one. Much love to you all. Thank you for all your comments. Graham, thank you as always.
Always enjoyable. Thank you very much. Good comments. Thank you.
Yeah, and I will see you all later. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.